Client and Quantitative Insights Division, Kantar. We also have as speakers Mr. Ajay Kakkar, Chief Marketing Officer, Aditya Birla Capital, Ms. Jayati Singh, Global Head, Marketing and Corporate Communications, Tally Solutions, Mr. Supratik Sengupta, Head of Marketing, Consumer Health, OTC of Lupin, and Ms. Bianca Ghosh, Chief Storyteller and Head of CEO Communications at Wipro. Before I hand it over to Ms. Mohanty, Ms. Mohanty is currently the MD of Kantar, the Insights Division. She brings with her over 23 years of experience in customized market research. Her specialties include innovation, brand communication research, and she was also named ET's most prominent female leader for 2021. Without further ado, I would now hand it over to Ms. Mohanty.
Thank you, Jayasuriya. And it's a pleasure to be here. And I'm sure we are going to have a very delightful evening talking about this very interesting topic, which is building brands with purpose in post-COVID world. And we have a very interesting line of speakers. Jayasuriya has given a brief introduction. Let me just expand it a little bit. So I'll start with Supratik. Supratik is currently the head of marketing of consumer healthcare in Lupin. He has over 2 decades of brand marketing experience across consumer healthcare, FMCG, and foods. He has worked in so many companies that I don't think I'll be able to name all of them, but his last stint was in LT Food. He has also worked in Dabur and Emami. So thank you for joining us, Supratik. Ajay Kakkar is the Chief Marketing Officer of Aditya Birla Capital, his financial service conglomerate. He brings over 3 decades of expertise in consulting and financial service marketing. After heading the central brand team at Reliance Capital and spending 14 years in the agency side at Ogilvy and Mather, where he headed dual portfolios of financial practice and public relations. A very interesting stint you have had, Ajay. So we look forward to your views and great to have you join us. And then the ladies, we have 2 very interesting ladies. We have Jayati, who is marketing and sales leader with over 20 years of experience across, again, multiple companies, FMCG and durables, P&G, Philips, Brita. And currently, she is the global marketing and corporate communication head for Tally Solutions. So a shift from B2C to B2B. And it's probably a very challenging and exciting shift, I guess, and we'll hear a lot more about it. Thank you, Jyoti. And finally, Bianca, who is in an extremely interesting role, and probably the first time I have ever heard of a role like this. She's a storyteller, chief storyteller for Wipro. And Bianca is a media brand and marketing communication leader and has worked across mainstream news, digital marketing, strategic communications, and a whole lot of other things, Bianca. So I won't get into too much of detail on that. But given such an exciting profile that you have, again, I'm sure we'll have a very exciting time discussing this. So thank you for joining us. Coming back to the topic, it's actually a very interesting topic because hopefully COVID will be a memory. The third wave doesn't seem to be coming, fingers crossed. But it has got some fundamental shifts in consumer behavior. I think we are thinking a lot more about what we buy into rather than what we buy. And some of Kantar's own work is also suggesting the importance of purpose and responsibility. It has actually become 3 times more important over the last decade or so. But there's a lot of confusion around what purpose actually means. And when you ask consumers, are you willing to pay more for purposeful brands? Mostly they are not terribly keen about it. So I think I'll open the session by asking a question around this whole, what does purpose actually mean to you? And do you really feel that it has become central post-COVID, or it was always there? And is it going to last? Is it going to continue, or is it just another fad, marketing fad that will sort of go away? Maybe we can start with Jayati. We can start with you, and then we'll just
Sure. Okay, so it's an interesting thing that you bring up that, during COVID, we've seen a lot of so-called purpose-driven marketing and purpose-driven communication, etc. happening. But honestly speaking, I think purpose has been there for a very long time, right? For companies which have believed in specific, purpose with the cause, working towards a cause and such like. If you look back, the first campaigns that we hear of from B2C, look at, how, let's say, Dove started, right? It was more about inner beauty. They were bringing forth, apart, from the superficial beauty and things like that, they were talking more about inner beauty. So they were really talking about a specific, cause as such. So when you look at the thing around vision, mission, which most companies have, there are a lot of companies which have purpose as well. I think purpose is more about almost an existential thing, which is more about why we exist. And typically the things around why tend to be a bit more abstract, a bit more cause related. It could be social, it could be economic, it could be just the humanism thing that you want to bring alive for a specific brand or a company, right? So we've seen that during COVID, we've seen a lot more of that happening, but it has been more focused towards, let's say, campaign-driven communication. But I think purpose as a thing is not purely about marketing. Purpose basically drives the company, and it has to be ingrained in how the company thinks across each of the functions, how it is manifested across each of the touch points, and involves all the stakeholders, right? So, purpose is no longer only about what the people within the company think or feel about you or the customers. It is also about your partner network and such like. So if I can just give a simple example of Tally Solutions, right? We have a very simple purpose. The purpose is to make anyone who touches Tally happier, right? Very, very simple. But it really, when you delve deeper into it, it's about making the customers, the partner network, and the people who work for Tally in Tally happy, right? And how you do it is how you want to kind of, take forward the whole idea of what you stand for with each of these stakeholders. So to my mind, yeah, it is more about something which is long-term, definitely not a fad. It'll continue because people want to relate more and think of companies. It is more at an emotional connect and not merely functional.
Yeah, I think very well put. I think the existential point that you mentioned was very interesting. So Prateek, what are your views on purpose?
I think first I would like to thank Jaishoorya and CIA that bringing us together to discuss very pertinent topic. And I would echo what Jayati is saying in the sense that purpose is not a new thing. At a brand level, the purpose has to be there. And the way I look at purpose is something which is just beyond profit, because there is an inherent business logic for a brand to exist, which is basically to make profit. But purpose would be having something to stand for, which is beyond logic. And I think what one interesting point Jayati brought in, I think I was thinking about that. I didn't think from that perspective before coming to this forum, but she was saying that, okay, there is a business purpose and there is a brand purpose, because the topic of today is a brand purpose. But I would just peel it a little bit more and say that, can we distinguish it? That is there a business purpose which could be separate from a brand purpose or vice versa? There is a book, if I remember correctly, Joel Kurtzman. That's the gentleman who first started talking about a common purpose in the business context. See, he talked about like Hitler, Gandhi. They all brought people together to drive certain. Even Hitler is an extreme case, and Gandhi is another extreme. But they brought together entire nation because they could find a common purpose. Similarly, I think brand at a brand proposition level needs to bring in one such cause which goes beyond everything. And I think one way to define it is basically, if the brand is not there in the consumer's life, would consumer miss about it? If the answer is yes, then actually probably you have created a purpose. If the answer is no, then probably you need to work on that and create a purpose. And the beauty of the purpose is that that gives the brand strength to do a lot many things in terms of protecting it against the competition, in terms of creating certain premium or value addition, or an extra wallet share, which from the consumer, the brand can command. So just to give you an example, like Harley Davidson may not be the best of the bike, but it has a great common purpose in terms of driving out togetherness and all those things, which the bikers community, which basically they swear by it. Even in India, though they are wrapping up or they wrapped up business, but at an US level, that brand has an excellent common purpose, which ties together the entire consumer base they have, and then that takes the brand forward. So ultimately, it lands up to a kind of a concept where it tells you why the brand is there, and it's more about why the brand is there in the life of the consumer. And if the consumer is missing it or going to miss it, then you have a great purpose. If it is not so, then one needs to work about that.
Absolutely. I think both of you pretty much said the same thing. Why does the brand exist? And also that interesting point about brand purpose and business purpose, you can't really sort of differentiate between the two. What do you feel, Ajay, about this entire thing, especially coming from the kind of your current role and your current profile? How do you see that translating in your current stint?
So Soumya, let me just pull back and first start speaking like a marketer, customer, or a mix of both, because I've been both sides of the table. The first thing I feel is that once upon a time there were commodities. And then to differentiate a commodity from a commodity, we created a brand. So a brand is a way to differentiate itself from a commodity. Now, when you have two brands, how do you differentiate yourself? So out came a solution, purpose. Now, purpose helps differentiate you. Purpose is like a magnet for like-minded people. Purpose is possibly the heart way to get to the wallet. But I think purpose is something you're born with. Purpose cannot be picked along the way. So if we say during COVID times, I've already lost interest in that purpose. For example, purpose is something, Hindi में कहते हैं सर कटा सकते हैं, लेकिन सर झुका नहीं सकते. Now, if you have such a purpose in testing times also where you're proven right or wrong, then it's a purpose. Otherwise, it's a fad. So, बुरे वक्त में भगवान की याद आती है. So in tough times, you can't think of a purpose and say, okay, now I'm rallied around a purpose. That's my belief. And therefore, that purpose cannot be generic. That purpose cannot be something which three of us can agree on, saying it could be my brand, it could be my category, it could be my country or my consumer. It has to be specific to what role you as a brand can play in your category to your customer. The minute you can manage that and live it. The old example all of us remember about JFK visiting NASA and seeing a lady sweeping the floor or something to that effect. And he asked her, what do you do here? And she said, I'm trying to do my bit to try and help the first man to reach the moon. That's the purpose. It's a rally call internally, which gets all of us together to give the consumer what we believe in, rather than what the consumer likes today or may not like tomorrow.
No, absolutely. Priyanka, what are your views? And maybe if I can pose a question that struck me as I was listening to everybody, is this purpose marketing or purpose the same as cause marketing? Because somewhere when Jayati started, she spoke about a social stance or a cause or something larger, and then we moved around. So is it the same thing or are they two different things? I'm mixing up things. And maybe we'll go around after that.
Yeah. No, thank you for that question. And I think I agree with everything that everyone has said so far. Maybe when Supratik was starting to talk about brand purpose and business purpose, I was like, oh, I disagree there. But I guess we've all come to that same conclusion that no, they have to be the same thing, because you, like Ajay said, you cannot start thinking about purpose because your business needs it, right? In a way, I think over the last 18 or 20 odd months, I think all of us, we've been sort of rethinking our relationship to our work, right? Being at home, not really going to work, meeting anybody, etc. We've all been rethinking, how we work, why we work, right? How can we derive more enjoyment and more engagement with our work? How can we avoid burnout? How can we make sure that, we are re-articulating our ambitions and perhaps even changing paths if there is no alignment, right? As an individual, as an employee, as a team manager, as also a consumer, I'm constantly thinking about, is there alignment, right? And I think one of the keys here really is to define a company's purpose and making sure that that aligns with what we are saying to the market, saying to our shareholders, saying to our board, to our employees, our customers, our partners, our vendors, right? So I think purpose is something which is the central why of a company, to the point that Jayati just made a little while ago. It's how you build loyalty. It's how you build trust. It's how you build reputation, both with employees as well as customers. And a lot of people have said that, oh, purpose, the pandemic has essentially put purpose on steroids. And so now everybody wants to have a purpose And I strongly disagree with that because I think, loosely speaking, maybe prior to the 2008 crisis, we could have gone back and said that we lived in an era where, you know, a company's success was purely defined by its profit that it was generating for shareholders, right? But at least after that, over the last decade or so, we've been seeing that every company has been starting to find its why. And that's where the relevance of the company is coming in, right? And that's how you build employee engagement. That's how you build a sense of belonging for thousands of people who work for you, right? Something to coalesce around. And to the point Ajay made, you cannot differentiate that and say, this is my starting point. I'm going to start building a North Star and a message house around it, and then create social media campaigns. It doesn't work like that. So you either have it or you don't, right? To my mind, it is essentially the same when we're talking about purpose marketing and cause marketing. I don't particularly like the idea of cause marketing or even purpose marketing because, at least for me, I work in a company where our ethics and our values align really well with the company stands for, you know, the soul of the company. And so there is this sense of pride, and we believe that we're essentially trying to tell people what we are doing. And it's not about how we package it. There's the real meat and the impact and the turnaround stories, the life stories that we have, which is driving our story outside, right? So we're not really marketing something that doesn't exist. We're marketing or we're just basically sharing our story, which we believe in. But that's Wipro, right? So I don't think that is something that many other companies would be able to talk about.
That's a very, very relevant point. But I'll come back to the question of cause, because does brand purpose have to be something bigger? I mean, do brands really necessarily have to take a social stance to have a purpose? Or is purpose something which is, as most of you seem to be saying, is a reason for the brand to exist? So it doesn't necessarily, it can just be to quench thirst if I'm a cold drink brand. I just wanted to go around because I think there's a bit of confusion on that. And I was also looking at some of the questions that are coming up. I think there is a bit of confusion around cause and purpose. So maybe we could just, Ajay, you want to start?
So Soumya, I may be one question behind schedule with you. I'll answer your last question now, if you don't mind. I think purpose is something which is not marketed. It is lived. And similarly, a cause is something not to be shared. It's like CSR. You do it because it's a way of life. So let me give you an example, and that's of Aditya Birla Capital. But coincidentally, how far are you willing to go to deliver on your purpose? So to give you an example, the financial service industry is one of the oldest industry in the world because money giving and taking is as old as you know. And we've always gone to consumer as a category. I'm a mutual fund. I'm a life insurance. Where's the customer in it? Don't ask me, but that's how we sell ourselves. And that's how we at Aditya Birla Group also sold ourselves for decades. But in 2017, we decided, where's the customer? He doesn't need mutual funds, life insurance, health insurance, what have you. He needs money solutions to live a life he desires. And look at the extent to which you have to take a tough call. We did, I think, what is the largest change management because we changed the go-to-market strategy, not only of an industry, but even ourselves. We at that time had about 8 companies going to the consumer individually. We sunset all those brands. We sunset all those logos and identities and created only one flag or one logo under which we all went to the consumer. We had to speak about this change management to 20,000 plus employees, 13 million plus customers, 2 lakh plus agents. We had to change the way we went to the customer. We created one brand, so therefore we created one call center instead of 11. We created one website instead of 11. We gave him one view of all his relationships across all that we offer. We, you know that game of Jenga? We took out piece by piece of our existence and put it back in place to live the purpose we wanted to from a customer perspective. So I think that's the extent to which you have to dare or care to deliver on cause or on a purpose. And that's a litmus test for me.
Very interesting. I think that's going to be my next question. So I won't, maybe I'll just give others a chance to talk about this. I mean, how do you see this whole cause or social stance taken by brands? And there've been a lot of these campaigns that happened last year, some of which actually bombed. So how is that the same as the way you define purpose, or is it completely different? Jayati, you want to add in?
Yeah, so to my mind, cause-related marketing or cause can be a derivative of purpose. They don't necessarily have to be the same, and they definitely, I mean, to my mind, they're not the same, right? I mean, last year also, all the kind of campaigns, and here I'm again specifically talking about marketing and campaigns, all the cause-related ones that you saw were around, social, communal, help, all the steps that basically companies and brands were taking to extend support in whichever way. However, purpose doesn't necessarily need to be a social cause per se, right? A purpose, and it could be, it could not be. In a larger realm, it could be about simple, sustainability. Now, the way I again go back to the example of Tally, our purpose is about happiness. It's more at a humanitarian level where you connect. It's more at an emotional level. So I think purpose has to do more with how you can have a connect with the customer, and it could range across anything. It could be social, it could be economic, cause that you're talking about. And like I said, it could be about a simple human connect where you feel that in the time of crisis, all I was getting were not these that we are in it with you, but I was seeing stuff happening in action, right? So we're not going and marketing that, hey, trust us, or, we are caring, and here is a mail from us, but we're actually doing certain things across all touch points with our customers, with our partners, with our employees, where they're seeing it. And like, all of you here also mentioned, it is something that is lived, right? So to that extent, I think it's better to disassociate purpose from a cause-related marketing thing per se. Also, because I think the whole CSR thing has become a sort of mandate also from the government in that sense, right? 2% of your profits need to go into certain CSR-related stuff, but it can get addressed as a purpose in a lot of manner as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think both of Ajay and you, both of you have said the same thing. It's a way in which we connect to the consumers and what we do across all the touch points. Priyanka, you have anything to add to this, or any different point of view, or
Not
cause and purpose debate?
so let me answer that by telling you a story. So let's go back 75 years. Back in 1945, there's a gentleman who started a vegetable oil company, right? And that company, over the next many decades, completely transformed. One, from moving from vegetable oil company to then moving into computer hardware, then moving into software, then into professional services, becoming a company which operates in 66 countries, employs 220,000 people, has some of the top Fortune 500 companies on its client roster, right? Now, in the middle of that growth, when that company and the people who are driving the driving force behind that company, they go and they say that we are not just about profits. We are not going to put profits before people. And so our founder chairman, over a period of time, he's donated $21 billion to philanthropy, all of which has gone to our foundation, which works with 350,000 schools in India. We've now started working around maternal mortality, maternal nutrition, and health activities. Now, why am I telling you this story? Not to say that, hey, look, we've spent so much money to uplift the community that we operate in, right? But to say that at this heart of this company's existence is about economic well-being of the communities that we do business in. We are looking at the entire stakeholder and not really the shareholder and building profits for them, right? So for us, the driving purpose really is something that Mr. Azim Premji had said many years ago, which was that economic value is sustainable only if it's created on a foundation of ethics and responsibility. And that has sort of been the organic growth of this company's purpose. Now, can I differentiate it from the cause? Maybe I cannot, right? Because what we've done is we've essentially created a space for ourselves at the intersection of our purpose, which is what we care about, which is the communities that we operate in, our capabilities, which is right now professional services, which is consulting, which is digital transformation, right? And what the world needs, which is where do we devote our time and our monies, to the point where, simplistically speaking, every dollar that we make, 67 cents is going towards the community. And so for us, what we are marketing is no longer different from what we actually live, which is our cause, which is our purpose. So it's a roundabout way of saying that if you believe in something and you exist towards a goal, which is beyond your profit, people align, they fall behind it, your customers see it, and you reap financial benefits because there is that authenticity in what you're doing. And then you don't really have to market, you don't really have to think about campaigns to launch, because there is already that work that's gone behind it.
I think Wipro is a brilliant example of that. So probably wrong question to ask. It's a perfect answer. But that brings me, Supriti, I'll start with you. Actually, that brings me to the next question, which actually Ajay also spoke about. It's not so. I read a survey which was done by Forbes in 2020, which was that consumers they want a brand that does the right thing. They want a purposeful brand, a brand that champions a purpose. But when it comes to paying a premium for it or paying money to buy such brands, they're not that keen to do so. So how do we tangibilize this, and how do we? I mean, it's not the right thing to say, but I guess brands do exist to make money finally. So how do we tangibilize this? How do we commercialize this? Or is that a wrong question to ask to start with? How do you communicate purpose in a compelling way? Let me put it this way, to consumers, and we'll just go around everybody's views. Yeah, Supriti.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. So I think one interesting aspect. Can I just take 2 lines on the kind of discussion which happened, like purpose-driven marketing, cause-driven marketing versus brand purpose? Enrich the discussion. I have a little bit of a contrarian view. I think the purpose-driven marketing or cause-driven marketing is more about getting a brand getting attached to an external cause. Okay, that okay, something good I need to deliver to the society, and I get attached to them. But brand purpose is more of an intrinsic thing, which is basically very internal DNA of the brand that you cannot get attached to or cannot sponsor it. The kind of purpose-driven marketing or cause-driven marketing is something like sponsoring a cause or getting involved into a good cause. But brand purpose is entirely driven by how the brand communicates, how the brand delivers certain things in terms of their marketing mix. So that's the way I differentiate between brand purpose and the purpose-driven marketing. The second part, what Ajay was telling, is very vital, is that if all of a sudden during COVID, everybody is talking about purpose-driven marketing, not the brand purpose-driven marketing, brand purpose, and I'm trying to bring the discussion to the topic basically, then I'm not there, and I fully respect that. But my point is that what happened, that COVID is something which none of us were prepared for. No Michael Porter or Philip Kotler can prepare you for that. So when that had hit, I think all businesses, all kinds of businesses had to scramble around and see that, okay, what can I get from my chest or from my, I need to deep dive something and get something that so that I can stay relevant. A travel business or a hotel business or a restaurant business, all those things had taken, or entertainment business had taken real tank. And then you have to find something which will enforce, I'm not using the right word, or which will compel, if I may say that, the consumer to even buy something probably at that point of time he or she is not thinking to buy because of such a critical situation around her. And probably at that point you need purpose. So I understand that the purpose was not probably a buzzword pre-COVID, but during the COVID it became a buzzword because that started challenging your existence, the existence of the brand. So that's where I am basically, that yes, I understand that, okay, it cannot be all of a sudden a buzzword, but it became a buzzword just for sheer need of existence. Coming back to whether brand purpose can be monetized, I think that's the question which we're talking about, that can the brand purpose can be monetized or commercialized? I think that it's the other way around, that if you have a good purpose, then at some point of time, it will pay you back. Today may not be in terms of just a delta premium, but in terms of, again, creating a competitive barrier, creating a long-lasting life for the brand, creating more loyalty. I understand, and you are in the research, and I think we all do a lot of qual and quant. And we know how the norms, and I'm using a marketing research term now, how the norms of Indian norms vary from the Western norms. And the Indian norms are always very highly skewed towards positive response. So if you ask a consumer a purpose-driven brand versus a non-purpose-driven brand, and which one you, the Indian consumers will always say we'll buy that. But in actuality, in terms of paying money to buy that brand, yes, they fall back, and ultimately they look for that value for money and other things. But again, I'll conclude my argument saying that in the long run, a purpose definitely pays back to you.
What do you
Three
think?
quick ones from me, if I may. One is, I don't know if you all saw this audiovisual on YouTube. It took some of the world's best brands and it sliced their ads during COVID and put it all together as one commercial. And you could see everyone, we are here for you, we are here for you, we care for you, we are near you. And then we're just a throne away, we're just a stone away, we're just a kilometer away, and all that. I think you have to watch out for bhed chal, you have to watch out for opportunistic, purpose-driven brands. That's point number one. Point number two, I want to give you an example during the same time what happened with us. We launched a health insurance company 5 years ago. And health insurance company is nothing but selling products. We said we don't want to sell products, we don't want to sell insurance. We're talking about health first. So therefore, it's not an ad line. We started giving policies to anyone and everyone. People who are not getting covered by other companies, we gave it to them because we said health first, and we will give an opportunity to everyone, insurance to all. We created tie-ups with health, with gyms. We created tie-ups with dietitians. We created tie-ups with yoga teachers. We gave you access to quarterly health assessment reports. We did everything to keep you healthy. Coincidentally, it's good for you. Two, it's good for me because more healthy you are, less claims, less cost for me. But at the time of COVID, suddenly we found a push category, which was always seen as push category, became a pull category. Suddenly people started thinking of health insurance because health was impacted, and they thought of a brand which not only spoke of, but practiced. Throughout COVID, we were giving people access to experts who were giving them one-on-one tips, whether for health, whether for yoga, whether for diet, whether for mental health. And we became the fastest growing health insurance company for 3 years, 2 years before COVID and during COVID. That's what I'm calling the second point. The third, I wanted to differentiate between CSR and business. I think there are two facets of the same coin, but CSR is something you do and never talk about. And business is something you do to make money. And I think purpose-based brands are purpose-based businesses, where the business is driven by a purpose.
True.
And if you don't have the profit element in there, somewhere if it doesn't lead to a customer preference, that purpose will die within 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. I give you the example in health insurance, our purpose makes sense because we are saying you stay healthy, you will not take ill. If you don't take ill, I become profitable. So while it appears a purpose-based, it also has a business logic to it.
Sure.
And if you don't have business logic to business or to purpose, that purpose will fly out with the next economic cycle. And therefore, I think there has to be a sense of purpose, but it has to be backed with strong business sense also. And I'm keeping CSR out of it.
That was brilliantly summarized, actually. I think absolutely. There's no conflict between the two. It seamlessly ties into each other.
Right.
Do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, so in fact, what I was thinking, I totally agree with Supratik, right? You know, the whole commercializing of purpose and all, it may not be tangible in the short run, right? It's something like it's a brand equity, it's a brand goodwill for a period of time that lends itself to, getting or commanding premium at some point in time or even now. And again, I mean, if you look at Tally, we are among the, the more expensive software in the market. But over the last 35 years, what has happened is that this purpose of keeping, everybody who touches Tally happier in mind, people have gone on, and this is something that is drilled down into people at the time of their induction, at the time of the onboarding of partners and all, that if for some reason, and which happened during COVID, a lot of it happened during COVID, that if the business shuts down for some reason, we take back the product, we take back the license, no questions asked. Because the philosophy is simple, right? If your product, if my product is not of any use for you, then your money is not useful for me either. Right? So that is creating a moment of happiness. That is driving happiness. Right? So across, I think, again, going back to that same thing of, over a life journey, the various touch points, because especially in B2B, it's not that you sell once and it's done. You have to have a long-term relationship. The life cycle is very, very long. So at the customer service level, it plays an important role. And if, again, you're not driven by your purpose, managing the kind of calls that you get in, one bad instance can, and in today's, day and age of social media, it just, we know how quickly it sort of amplifies and magnifies and creates a ripple effect. So in these cases, when people understand and they learn to identify what your brand or your company is standing for, then yeah, that sort of builds up. And same with the cause. There's certain causes that I may believe in, and I would want to pay a little bit more for that. So that's a very personal sort of an opinion that a lot of people have. And like we said, that the purpose brings the like-minded people sort of together, right? So in a period of time, I think basis the thing that you stand for, you can definitely command a premium, and people would be willing to pay.
And
I'll just add, sorry,
Yeah.
I'll just add one thing, and I think, sorry, I'm butting in. I think one thing we need to be clear about, and I think that's what coming out, and I'm seeing a few other queries also coming through. Purpose is not a campaign idea. I think what is that, okay, if I see all the ads, and I've seen that. So most of the companies did a mistake during the COVID, that they made the purpose of or immunity
Campaign
as a
idea.
and a campaign idea. No, and there it became opportunistic. So today, if somebody says that, okay, there is COVID and today my shirt is becoming an antiviral shirt, I would actually be scared to put that shirt on. What kind of thing they are putting on, so that it might affect my skin. So that's there's a line of caution which I'm just trying to say that I should park there. The purpose is not a campaign idea.
Yeah, that's an absolutely fair point. And it's very interesting. And I'll probably ask Bianca to say a few lines and then take the final question. We have tons of questions, so I just want to give it a little bit of time to take those questions. What is interesting is all of you are pretty much converged in some sense into what it means. There's not much of a misunderstanding. It's very clear that it is about what the brand stands for, and it has to be communicated consistently across all touch points. And Bianca, in fact, that was my final question. You can obviously add to the discussion, but was how challenging is it to communicate purpose with clarity, both internally and externally? How do you make it your North Star?
Yeah.
You use the word also.
Soumya, I was listening to, the desire for premium and the desire for monetization, and perhaps you might call it a bit idealistic, but I guess it's exacerbated by the fact that I work with a company that believes in doing the right thing when in the zero moment of truth, when nobody's watching you, right? I agree we live in a capitalistic economy, right? But I also think that we're living in an era of rising extremism, inequalities, right? Violence against minorities, etc. Both practically and morally, I don't think any of us can really sit on the sidelines of these human and planetary and societal, challenges anymore, right? We can't treat these human or these climate issues as somebody else's problem anymore. So it is absolutely essential that now more than ever, companies and brand marketers like each of us represented on this panel here, we have to constantly look backwards at the processes and the products of the past, but also gazing forward into, preparing for the innovations of tomorrow, the technologies of tomorrow, the human condition and the challenges that will define our future. And the role that each of us will have to play in this is absolutely crucial, because you may have purpose, you may live it, but if you're not able to communicate it with authenticity, with conviction, with honesty, and creatively, because hey, everybody, can say the same things, right? So if that doesn't happen, then we're not really going to be standing out, right? So I think people like us, we have to be ambidextrous, right? We have to be free-thinking entrepreneurs. We have to be, at the same time, rigorous cost cutters, because hey, we all went through 2020 as well, where we saw what happened to all of our budgets, I'm sure. And we have to be able to make those very objective trade-offs to say that this is what we stand for, and we want to communicate this creatively, we want to communicate this visually, we want to communicate this with authenticity and passion. But at the same time, we also want to do this in a way that is believable, not just for our board and the markets, but also for our employees. Because right now we've seen that COVID has resulted in a massive shift in the workforce, right? Attrition is a reality for every company in every industry. And one of the things that will help people think twice before they jump is not that 5, 10, 30% hike, is also probably the purpose and the values of the company. So communicating that is so essential. Internal communications today, I think, assumes a huge relevance, more than it ever has, because if you're not able to take your people along with you, especially in a company like Wipro, right? We've got 220,000 people now. It's a massive behemoth. How do you communicate that to all your people? And one thing that's really worked with us is leadership buy-in. Every single leader in our company, starting with our CEO, is seen as somebody who believes in the soul of this company and is able to articulate with conviction why we are doing what we're doing and taking the difficult calls that we are taking, right? Because when you have an employee coming and saying, hey, I would like to have X percentage of hike this quarter, and I did not get that, but hey, you just donated more than 1,000 crore rupees to COVID health and humanitarian. Trust me, we've had so many of those conversations. But the reason we're able to help alleviate those challenges, because these are real people with real challenges, is because we are able to convey to them why we're in a position of power and why companies like us have a responsibility to those who have much less than us. So everything we make is not just about bonus. It's not just about what our stock is doing, but about what we are doing as a community. So I think our role is super important. There's no one size fits all, and there's no perfect answer to how we're going to communicate this. But we do this every single day in whatever campaign we run, in whatever communications we put out, internally, externally, social media, Yammer, Glassdoor, everything you do essentially has to be layered with the who and the why, and that's purpose.
Yeah, Bianca, I think the point you mentioned about brands cannot stand by and watch things happen was an absolutely brilliant point. Ajay, anything you want to add to this? We have had some faux pas, in opportunistic use of purpose over 2020. How have you steered this? I mean, how has your brand, how have you managed this? You obviously said a lot about how you simplified the experience for the consumer, but how did you sort of communicate this? How did consumers realize this? And we'll quickly go around because I think there are tons of questions and I'm very conscious of time right now. So just add in whoever wants to add in, and we'll then take the questions.
So, I'll give you a quick answer to how did we, live the brand during this time. We didn't change our brand purpose. We didn't find a brand purpose. We didn't communicate our brand purpose. I just think we lived our brand purpose. At times when the economy was under cloud, the future was under cloud, and you need more and more and more customers, we just focused on our existing customers. And in moments of uncertainty is when money becomes a healing point. Health becomes a healing point. And we made sure we were available to guide them through both these vagaries of their life, which became paramount concern at that time, but was our reason for being. All the money and health solutions that you need to live the life you dream. And therefore, our reach out to our existing customers, our existing partners, actually, if you ask me, got us more business than we could have if we looked at potential customers, unknown customers. And I think that's the point, that you have to be there for your customers when they need you, but to live your brand in the context of their life, in the context of your category, rather than a generic, we are here for you always. So I think that's what we did, and we benefited. I want to just reiterate one point, which I think is very important for us to take. And I know I'm sounding opposite of what I've said so far. I think purpose is very important, but purpose that is removed from reality will not survive. And by that, what I mean is that if I create the best product in the world because it has all the purpose and values I believe in, but makes a loss, the shareholders will vote me out. So I have to find a purpose which I can deliver on while delivering on expectations of all stakeholders, including shareholders. I should be able to live it for perpetuity. And not only in good times, when the times are good, and when the bad times, I have to start trimming because, hey, I won't be able to survive. So that's why I feel that it's important to have a purpose which can hold you in good times and bad times.
Fair enough. Yeti, you want to add anything before I take the questions? There are tons of questions.
Yeah, I know. So totally echo Ajay's points. I think it's all about living across all your stakeholders, and like him, we focused only on our existing customers, existing relationships, being there for them for that, right? I mean, during the time of crisis, how a company and brand responds and maintains the relationship with the existing people. I mean, no attrition. We forget about attrition. No layoffs happened during that time, right? We said they have to safeguard everybody's salary. These are tough times. We took back licenses, paid the money back. We extended all these things. So it's all about really extending support when you have to, and not talking about it. So no campaigns, no big communication. And I think in B2B, it made it relatively simpler for us in that sense. I don't know if the same lens would be there for B2C. It would have to be a little different because you're speaking to a huge mass audience, and it's a brand speaking. So I'm sure the lens there would be slightly different. However, yeah, totally in line with in sync with what was mentioned.
I think I'll take some questions because it actually flows from here. Maybe Supreet,
Sure.
you could answer the first one. I think there's a very interesting question pretty much in this. Do you think purpose should be integrated with your product? For instance, if your purpose is to make sports, fashion, great food accessible to many, it makes sense to consider the entire shopping experience and innovate and remove pain points in the customer journey. Is that how we are defining purpose? We integrate it into what we offer?
No, sorry. The question is for me, Soma?
Yeah, yeah.
You asked me. Okay.
With you, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No, I think Ajay summarized it very well. That okay, the purpose is there, and it's not that during the COVID you create a purpose and then start talking about it and then you forget it. It's like an umbrella that okay, you have it, and when the rain comes, you open it. Otherwise, you have it. So, and you don't need to bring out the umbrella every day. So for any brand, and I don't know what brand I think the individual who's asking the question is talking about, but it is very difficult to answer what is the strategy of the brand. If one of the strategy of the brands is to create a kind of holistic shopping experience, and then yes, to drive that as a purpose can make sense. But if so, I'll just take an example on the other day, which we are talking about. For QSR, which is basically again a quick service restaurant and like Domino's, Pizza Hut, KFC's. Domino's made it a purpose that they would deliver hot pizza within a certain time. And through a series of communication, they delivered that particular purpose. And they created that brand code that, okay, we delivered within 30 minutes. And it took time to reach them. And no other brand can match that particular fundamental experience that Domino can provide. So today, sorry, let me put it in this way. So today, QSR doesn't mean that you'll have to home deliver. So if the strategy of the brand is to create the home delivery mechanism, and you create that purpose, and then you work backward in terms of value chain, supply chain, and support them. So if the strategy of the brand, which the person is asking about, is to create a shopping experience, then the entire ecosystem has to support that. If the strategy of the brand is to create, I'm just taking a snob value, then probably a different ecosystem, different pathway has to be created. But whatever is your strategy in terms of creating a purpose, once you identify that, then you have to work backward in terms of, and it's not only within the brand, then the person who are handling the brand in terms of supply chain, in terms of shopping experience, in terms of creating the marketing mix of the brand, everything then has to talk about that singular purpose and has to deliver that purpose to the end consumer.
Sure.
That's what my point is, basically, that it has to stem from the strategy. Again, I'm saying that these are very interlinked things. These are not in silos. A brand purpose cannot live in silos vis-a-vis a brand strategy. And again, the brand strategy or brand purpose cannot live in silos with respect to the business purpose. I'll give a last example, which is very dear to me. That till the last flight, Jet Airways, let's talk about Jet Airways, the brand which is not there anymore. But till the last flight, if you do a market survey of the domestic players, probably the Jet Airways was the most preferred airlines, even when it closed down. Okay, but still it closed down. So somewhere it makes us understand that even if you have a very strong brand, but somewhere at a business level, if that strong brand, which Ajay was talking about, doesn't translate into a revenue mechanism, then in spite of having that kind of strong brand, you might not exist. So that's the question which I would like to stay with, that, okay, you define your purpose, echoing Ajay, and that purpose has to be something which you can deliver and has to make a business sense. All these are connected. Nothing is in silos. That's the beauty of the business. That's what we learn in the management school. That's why we learn in the course of our life. And once you create those connecting dots, which again, echoing Steve Jobs also, that connect the dots. If you can connect the dots, then your business is safe. Your brand has a solid purpose, and brand can then, over the time, can build that equity, build that premiumness, build that loyalty.
Sure. Sure. Vishaka, you wanted to add something to this? Any example or something that comes to your mind to this question?
This question brings me to fashion, for example, something that we're all possibly interested in. You see, at one point in time, we were all enamored with the likes of H&M, for example, fast fashion, quick fashion. You know, you buy quick, you use them, and you discard them pretty quickly. But increasingly, you will see that there are brands which may have existed for many, many years. One example I can think about is Levi's, for example, almost 170-year-old company. But really building in sustainability as a purpose into each of its products that are hitting the market at this point in time. So if you actually go back to that website, and if you talk to those who work with a company like Levi's, and there are many others, you will see sustainable prosperity has essentially become the competitiveness of that company. And I think fashion is a great example of where you're seeing purpose becoming the product or the essence of the product. For a lot of people now, they're willing to spend more, pay a little bit more, wait a little bit extra time to receive their products if they know that it's been sustainably sourced, if they know that it's been sustainably developed, etc. So I think the shift definitely from a consumer standpoint is to move towards products that have been that have a less carbon footprint, etc., and for brands to start thinking about how do they ensure that their purpose becomes embedded with their product and making that their competitive advantage. There are lots of examples, but I can absolutely see that happening in fashion as we speak.
No, absolutely. I think sustainable sourcing for sure is something consumers are keeping in mind when they're looking at both food and fashion. There's one more question, Ajay. Maybe actually in some sense you have probably answered this, but maybe you want to reiterate it. Do you feel that your purpose has to fit with what people already know about your brand? It has to be authentic. And how can you talk about purpose in a way that is unique to you?
Again, I feel that, I'd ideally not like people to talk about their purpose. I'd like them to live their purpose. So if, for example, I talk about being there for you, and I have hundreds of stories where I have actually been there for people, or my people have been there for people beyond their cause of call of duty. I believe word of mouth is the greatest way of spreading purpose. One customer saying is, this person went beyond the call of duty. A line 6 employee was with me when my family was in need, when I had a loss in my family, or I had a problem with my home loan, or my house was being repossessed. For me, matters so much more than me trying to have advertorials or testimonials of people saying that, east or west, this brand is the best. So my view is possibly a little different, saying is, don't talk about it, live it, let the beneficiaries talk about it.
Perfect, perfect. I am starting to get a feeling that we have overrun our time, if I'm not wrong. So I don't think we'll be able to take any further questions, if that's okay, Jaisurya. So I think there's been a fascinating discussion. We started with what I felt a little bit of, I felt there was a confusion around purpose and cause, but I think where we have netted out is purpose. COVID has definitely put a spotlight on it, but brands have always had purpose. And brands which have had purpose have actually been able to endure COVID much better than brands which tried to opportunistically use purpose. And I think the other point, that there is actually no conflict between purpose and profit. That's a brilliant point, Ajay. There's no conflict. Your business exists for profit. Your purpose has to mesh there. And the point, Jayati, Bianca, Supratik, all of you have sort of been, and the whole social stance issue. I think brands have to, in some sense, be a partner, be a part of what we as humans are going through. We can't stand by the sidelines. So I think brilliant discussion. I'm sorry, I didn't realize we are really exceeding time, but this is really nice. And thank you, all of you. Jaisurya, is there something that?
Yeah, so thanks everyone. I think it's been a great session, and obviously we didn't have enough time for all the questions. But thanks again to all of you on behalf of CII. I think we still have questions coming in, by the way, but unfortunately we'll probably address it some other time. Thank you again, and we do hope we can, you can join us for a subsequent initiative as well. Thank you.
Is there some way you can share these questions? Maybe we can just get back to.
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try to share it on mail. Yeah.
Yeah, just share it on mail. Maybe we can just take it.
Will do, certainly.
Thank you, everyone.
Enjoyed
Thank you.
every moment.
Thanks, everyone.
Debating with you.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.